It breaks my battle-hardened, bull-horned, belligerent, and beautiful heart when a victory is lost, a battle broken, a war washed away by the tides of incredulity because of a soldier too foolhardy, too fat and lazy, too lackadaisically lame to understand the basics of war. Have you ever heard a general instruct his men to sit at the back of the battle and place both thumbs up their rectums? Have you ever heard a squad leader scream, "Yes, boys, sit just outside of the objective. Those Jews won't know what hit them if we just do nothing and die on the edges of victory. Yeah, boys, keep doing it. Do all. Yeah, that'll win the day. Nothing, you sorry pieces of shit. We're doing it." Have you ever heard a lieutenant say, "Keep that tank on the hilltop, popping its useless f***ing head over the hill's grassy top to take a pop shot at a squad at the far end of France"? The reason you don't hear those words are because they aren't said. They aren't said because to win a war you have to have an objective, and when that shiny goblet of greatness is emblazoned on the map with a flagpole so mighty even Ron Jeremy would be proud, there is simply no reason in God's mighty earth that you shouldn't play to win it. So after grafting for weeks to train you sorry sods into battle-ready weapons of death, now I feel it my duty to instruct you on the finer points of war. So here, get ready, as I, DRBC 007, thrust my wondrous wisdom down your eager throats, whether you can take it or not, for you must always P.T.F.O. And for you f***tards too frigid to fight, that means play the f***ing objective! I'm DRBC 007, and I'm bringing you another battlefield. Oh my god. Seriously? 3 weeks off and you still interrupt me! I'm not talking to you. Of course I'm not! I'm DRBC 007, and I'm bringing you another Battlefield Bootcamp, P.T.F.O, a master's guide to winning glory greater than all of the Greek gods, to be the hero, not the harlot, to be the master and not Margarita, and to simply be worthy of my illustrious and terrifying teachings and sensually seductive, surreptitious siren song that would lead you to the rocky shores of death, but only if you let it. Enough! Let us begin. Number 1. ABC. Battlefield is unlike other theatres of war. Its primary focus is on ball-busting battles, huge firefights, and playing something called an objective! We all want a higher KD to pull off that wonder longest running headshot, and we like to shoot our guns like an orgasming Rambo pumping enemies full of sweaty hot lead. But that's not the point. The point is, and always should be, victory. And whether or not you're a marauding murderer, a slithery snake of a sniper, or a maniac medic, you should always put the objective first. It's as easy as Michael Jackson's of the Jackson 5's wonder hit ABC, which funnily enough is also how the points are labelled. You can do all that you love if you actually play the objective. You'll get more kills, more points, more revives, and more resupplies, and all while actually helping your team to march to victory. Sitting back, not venturing into the boundaries of a point, thinking you're helping by surprising enemies that are within the capture zone is tantamount to insubordination, and makes me hotter than Harry when he snuggled up to Sally, and more angry than that bug reporter guy. I seriously can't do it justice. Roll the clip!
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death?
The fuck is that?
Chris Wood's death.
The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country-ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck? I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out of this country, motherfucker. I can't even see me.
In short, I rage more rampantly than a randy rabbit on the end of a vibrating woman's wonder stick. So remember, and as you'll see, it's easy, so very easy to play the objective, that when you understand it you'll feel more stupid than the whole cast of Geordie Shore combined into one thick, ugly, outrageously orange son of a bitch. Number 2. The objective. So the first part of playing the f***ing objective is the objective itself. Whether it be a telegraph post that needs obliterating, or a capture point that needs your swift occupying powers, you must fight for it. This isn't like the time you shot your load into your shorts at the slightest touch of the titular teacher, Miss Jameson. You won't implode if you step into the capture zone. Too many times I see friendlies backing away from an objective or front lines, trying to pick enemies off, snipers lying in ditches miles away from the action, and often soldiers that stand right on the brink of the capture point only to be bemused and befuddled when the enemy cap the point and drive their sharpened bayonets into their bedraggled buttocks. Your focus should always be to be within the capture zone on Conquest or any other game mode which requires you to capture a flagged point. It appears that people often forget that their singular life is not important and do all they can to protect it, but fortune favours the bold, and often all that is needed is a dash through the ditches and to hunker down behind enemy lines. Do this, and your team should follow. Learn the objectives, their defendable choke points, their weak backdoor entrances, I like backdoor entrances, and the best routes to the point, and you'll be so much more formidable. Number 3. Tactile Tactician. Like an aboriginal bush tracker, touch the ground, sense the danger, forge your own way and make plans. If your team hits a choke point more dangerous than one of Sean Spicer's press briefings, often it's best to change direction. I'll take front lines again as a prime example. If the enemy team are able to hunker down in a capture point and you're stuck in a firefight that can't be won, why, stay there and fight to certain death on the edges of the zone. Flank them, create a distraction, use tactics to overwhelm and disorientate. Communication is also key here. If the enemy think that they are being attacked, they will defend that location, often opening up another route for you and your team. Break up your squad, leave 2 to suppress, 1 entrance, throw grenades and just make it seem like there is a lot more going on, and then take 2 or more friendlies and track around the objective to attack from the rear. This is not rocket science! How many buffoons charge head-on to failure? The ones that prosper, the ones that survive, they adapt, and having this adaptability means success isn't far away. If something isn't working, change tactics. If your favourite pea shooter isn't cutting it, change your loadout or class. If your team isn't cutting it, then switch to the winning side. If you can't beat them, then join them. That was a test, and you failed! I'm going to punch you right in the ovaries. Number 4. Spice of Life. Like a night with naughty nubile nudes, variety is the spice of life, and as I have sampled God's divine delicacies from Persia to Princetown and from the frozen tundras of Mother Russia to the sweaty jungles of South America, I know how important it is to have a decent mix. Although I may be partial to a smoky Colombian, I know that sometimes you can't go with what your carnal passions desire. This is the same for the battlefield. You may love your scout class, but why use it if you can't affect the battle? You may be so inclined to use your rifle-mounted grenades, but what happens if you need squad healing? A good squad composition which complements each other and the task ahead is vital for success. Each class excels in certain areas and gadgets that complement the squad, so make sure that before you dive headlong into a den of dirty divas, you have your wits about you and bring a team that could tackle any situation. Number 5. You complete tanker. A bull of metal with power and purpose, lumbering slowly towards its enemies, their fear floating on the air. This beast of steel and fire is a game changer, a war winner, but yet so many cower inside its metal framework, too scared to venture into the fray. They believe sitting within its iron hide and taking pop shots from a hilltop is doing it right. Well, you are so very wrong. A tank is designed to push objectives, keep those inside alive, create a distraction so your team can flank and outplay your enemies, and bring the pain to your peeing in their panty foes. You commit a sin if you hijack one of the most powerful forces on the battlefield and then sit back and don't use it effectively. The only vehicle that can be allowed to stay back is the artillery truck, but if you have a tank, then so help me God, you better use it. Push the objective, tear down walls, crush enemies beneath your metal-studded tracks, and obliterate your opponents on your march to victory. Now you can see the truth, see what a real soldier should look like, what a real hero can do. Push that point, play the objective, and you will rise to greater peaks than Takeru Kobayashi, the slim contest eater who can down more hot dogs than a super salivating stripper drunk on love and eager to please. As always, I am here for you, but this lesson was a tough one. I must take rest, for the road ahead is long and we have much to do, many a lesson to teach, and many a pretty Pamela to please. My final decree before I leave for a land of love: mash that like button like there's no tomorrow, leave a comment describing my greatness, and of course subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. For more tips, tricks, profound nonsense, and all things Battlefield 1, I'm DRBC007, signing off.